Okay, I have not recorded any of my tumblers. I actually started on tumblers and I still make them, but this is going to be the first time I'm trying to record it. I don't know if my hands are going to get in the way. I don't know if I need to do this at an angle, so we're just going to try it. I need to make a couple, so I'll actually record both of them. And then I might make something fun in there coming up soon. So this one's going to be an alcohol ink drip. I don't know if that's what it's called. Alcohol ink drip tumbler, where I flood the whole thing with alcohol ink, and it just gives it kind of a watercolor look. So that's what I'm going to do. This one's actually a 4-in-1 can cooler, so it has a bottom on it. And this is the first time I'm actually doing where I tape off the very, like a 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, so that it's just silver all the way on the bottom. Because tumblers, if they fall on the ground, if they fall on the edge, it's going to crack. And I've heard lots of stories about it. So I know tumbler makers that only do it that way. So I figured I might as well try it, because also the corners the edge of a tumbler can be tricky sometimes if you're using glitter. Glitter will give you, especially chunky glitter, will give you hell. So anyway, so I've taped it off. I sanded the tumbler, and then you have to sand it to get, like, there's a coating on them unless you buy the pre-sanded ones. So there's a coating, and then I spray painted it white, and I did 2 coats of white because actually this one I wouldn't need 2 coats. I buy these throwaway pans, these little cheapy pans from Dollar Tree or Walmart or whatever, and I use it as my drip pan, so I can catch all the drips. I am going to be using a variety of blues, which I actually have not tested to see which ones I need really quick. So I'm going to do that on a paper towel. I'll pause you when I do that really quick just so I can pull out the paper towel. Because I know I need blues, but she's a replacing one. So I'm doing kind of blues and greens. So I don't want to go too green, but I have some kind of on the green side. So I'm going to try those out. This sapphire is going to be too purple. So I'm taking that out. So let me pause you really quick so that I can test these colors, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I tested all the colors that I have pulled out. I actually have way more blues. This one's too green. This very one on the end, which was Let's Resin Turquoise. No, yeah, Let's Resin Turquoise. So I'm going to put that one aside. That one's too green. I think I'm going to stick with these. I think we're going to be good because I have a dark blue, light blue, and then a couple of on the greeny side. Let's see, that one's ocean, that one's aquamarine. Yeah, I'll stick with these 4. So I'm gonna do these. So the very first thing you need to do, so I have a tumbler turner here. I want it to spin this way because it's easier for me. I have some alcohol in a squeeze bottle. And what you do, the very first step you do is, for this technique anyway, is to flood the whole thing with alcohol. Just want to get it, that's why you have the drip pan. So I have alcohol over the whole thing. And then we're just going to start dropping colors on it. And you'll see as it spins, it kind of creates these patterns. And then sometimes if it gets to be too much or you don't like it, you can pour more alcohol on it. I need to add some sparkle. I might have to go get another one. So I'm just going to keep doing this. The other one I couldn't get it to come out, and this one's, you just barely turn it over and it starts coming out. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm just going to keep dropping it. I have some weird little spots on here I'm going to try to get off too. I will end up using my fingers to cover up some of the spots here and there. Like up here. See, I'm just going to do this all the way around the edge, because it's going to end up blending, but it'll fill in these dry spots. Okay. You gotta be careful. Now you can also do your background in black. You can paint it black and you get a darker feel to it. So it just kind of how you just kind of play. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can do to mess it up. Just drop colors, like I said, and I'll show you if I add some alcohol in a second what it does. I actually have a smaller bottle to do this with. I have a little bitty squirt bottle, but we're just going to kind of drop some on here. Then we're going to add some more. And this is 99% alcohol. I'm going to use a higher concentration. What colors do we want? We want some light. I don't know what these little dots are. I'm trying to get them up, sorry. They're going to bug me. It's almost like the ink had some kind of weird sediment in it. I shook them, so, but it has been a little while since I've used them. I need to figure out which ones is doing it to. Trying to get a little bit more green in there. And just a couple of drops of dark blue up here. Now you can do this with resin as well. You can mix some mica powders and kind of drip them and do patterns and stuff like that. I'm waiting and seeing if this is going to do anything as it keeps moving. I might add some more alcohol. I'm not crazy about this spot right here. And I can see that it's drying, so. It kind of lightens it if you need it to, if it gets too dark. That's kind of pretty, isn't it? I don't like these dots. I don't know what those dots are. One of them has a sediment in it, and I just don't know where it's coming from. So I need to pay really close attention now when I'm dropping it. To see which one's actually doing it. See how it gets a kind of a watercolory effect? Okay, so right now I have ocean. Let's see if I get those big dots. I don't see them on that. I'm double checking. I don't see them on that. I bet it's this Pixies maybe. I'm thinking, oh, I just don't know what these dots are. I'm trying to break them up and see if they'll go away. Then I won't add any more, I'll just let it go. Okay, I'm okay with that actually, because I'm going to add some crushed crystal to one or two of the layers, and that will distract from all of that. Don't want to add any more. I don't like the line. Okay, let's let it go for a minute. Let's see if we're good. I'm scared this is the one that has the dark dots in it. I think we're good. I'm good with that. It's going to spin until it dries. I need it to dry all the way, and then I will put a coat of epoxy on it. And then I'll see where we're at. I think we're good. I like that one's really like soft looking. Sometimes they're harsher looking. Sometimes I want the distinct lines. That one, I like that it's kind of soft. All right. I will see you guys on the next step. Okay, this stage is dry, and you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to use a different resin. I've always used Alumilite clear cast epoxy, amazing clear cast, but I just happen to have all this extra resin and not sure what to do with it, and I could be coating this cup, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add, there's already some crushed crystal in this. I used this on another project right before this, but I'm going to add some Marabou alcohol ink rainbow. It's magic. I think this one's open, hopefully. Yeah, it is. You can see it. Can you see it if I put my black glove under it? It's magical, it really is. Except for it gets clogged really easy. That's the one thing. The little ball gets in the way. And it doesn't actually take that much, but I'm just going extra. Why not? Because it's blue. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Anyway, okay. I'm going to get this mixed because it's left over, and it will get warm if I'm not careful. It's starting to get warm. And then it gets thick. The first time I had that happen, it freaked me out so bad. I didn't know what happened because it got thick and goopy, and I still stuck it on the cup, and I screwed up that cup. Because I didn't know. But now I know. You can have flash cures if you don't. If it's sitting deep in something, it will overheat. So we're going to use this. All right. Making sure you can see. So I'm going to just do what I normally do. And then I'm going to have some extra because this is way too much. But I'll find something to put it in. Oop. See how pretty it is? Can you see the sparkle? Hopefully you can see it on the camera. This is thicker than I'm used to, but we're going to be good. I like watching them come to life. It's always cool. You think sometimes, like, if you spray paint them different colors and stuff, and then you see all the imperfections, but once you start adding everything, it really, it hides so many of the imperfections that you don't even have to worry about it. So you just smooth it out. It is self-leveling, but you want to make sure that you get all the spots. I will be removing this tape in a few minutes, so it won't epoxy to the cup. It's just, it was to block the paint. Hopefully I don't peel the paint up, or else I'll have to fix that. I'll have to pivot, because I'm good at pivoting. Okay, that's actually done for that one. I'm going to see. Let me clean this up really quick. This is way less messy. Well, no, I can't say that. You get into glitter and it's way messier because glitter does not go away. And when you do glitter on cups, you're always spreading it out. So anyway, I got like 1.5 ounces that I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. I'm gonna heat it up, pop all the bubbles. I'm gonna do this like I do all my stuff every 15 minutes for a couple. I'll do it 2 more times at 15 minutes, just to make sure everything that's risen up is gonna get popped. I'll wait for it to go. Sometimes I have something I can look at to reference. Okay, I have that little stripe there to reference to know that I've gone around once. Okay. Isn't that pretty though, with the sparkles? I love it. Okay. Alrighty, we are back and we are on to the next step. This is dry. I did, when I was looking at this, I've never had this happen in any of the tumblers I've ever done. So I don't know if I didn't sand it enough to get the coating off, but it's like pulled away all the way around on top and bottom, which is weird. I've never had that happen before. So I don't know what's going on with that. I decided that I can put a pinstripe around it that should tie it in really good to the color of the lake. It's the same color glitter of the lake, glitter vinyl of the lake. I might end up cutting another one. I think I only have enough for one on the top. So if I do need one on the bottom, I'll cut another one and I'll do that afterwards. But I wanted to show you just the steps of putting these on the tumbler. So this one's for an order. And I've been aware the whole time of this one little mark right here. So this lake will actually fit over it. So I wasn't too worried about it. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do this side first. And then usually that's when I put the name on the other side because I know where this is lined up. So and I've never done this under camera. So it might be a little bit awkward for me. I'm hoping that we're good. We're going to see. And just pull really slowly so that you make sure you don't leave anything behind on the release paper. So everything's on there. I usually just eyeball it, but I have in the past. I had like 6 tumblers I needed to do. Trying to turn it, so I'm trying to make sure the lake life is actually lined up, and I'm trying to cover that, and it was off to the side. So anyway, I had an order for 6, and one of them was the main person that the order was for is an engineer, and so I got out my ruler and I measured them out because I didn't want them to be inconsistent. I don't know why this lake is off a little bit right there. It's on everywhere else correctly, but okay, so we're going to get that on there. Just go really slowly, make sure you don't leave any pieces behind. Okay, and then what I normally do, my own little workflow, is I tend to cut off a piece of the release paper. This is just me. And I figure out the center, and then I put this on the other side so I know where the center is. I know it's not exact, but it's close. So then I know that I need to put the name right there. So we're going to put the name, I see that little spot right there, so I think I'm going to go lower. You can hide a lot of things with vinyl and glitter if you need to, but this one's not too bad, so we're good. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm centered with this. I'm trying to cover up that one little spot right there. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay, so the next step I am going to attempt, I'm going to start on the side. I'm going to attempt to put this on. I haven't done a whole lot of pinstriping. I've been getting more familiar with it because I think it makes a cup look way more polished. It just gives it that kind of extra oomph. I did one that I had lines on it, but I didn't put pinstriping, and I still, to this day, I'm mad at myself that I didn't complete it, I feel like, because I didn't do the pinstriping. I know it's out there, and I wish I had started doing pinstriping earlier. Okay, and a trick for when you're doing these, pass it up, tape it down, pass it up. You're going to cut all the way through. And then that comes off. And so that you don't have a bubble, you can pull the piece off that's under it, and they'll line up perfectly now though. Okay. See, that looks pretty. So I'm gonna go cut another one of these really quick. I'm also gonna get the stuff that I need for my next step, and then I will be back shortly. Okay, I am back. I did add a pinstripe to the very bottom as well. I think that looks really, it's gonna look good. It's gonna tie into the lake. So next step is so on tumblers, I don't see it as bad on my molds and everything. I'm sure it happens. I see it more on tumblers. When you add vinyl, sometimes they lift up, and so then you end up having to do another coat that you weren't planning on doing, just because you have to cover up the lifting up. Or sometimes it's destroyed because it's lifted up. It's like curled over, and then you can't, like the L will be curled. It's something that small. If it curls, you're not gonna be able to read it correctly. So there is something called Quick Coat. It's by Counterculture DIY. I learned about this stuff, and you can put this on your vinyl and let it dry, and you can't see it. It dries completely transparent, completely clear, and your vinyl won't lift anymore. So this has been a lifesaver. I usually only do it on the vinyl. I know some people that fled the whole tumbler. I am going to do this whole tumbler just because I have pinstripes on top and bottom. It also helps keep you from getting the fish eyes that you'll get from like this. Like right now I haven't. That's funny. I didn't see that little mark until just now. It will help you. These are fish eyes. Where the epoxy kind of separates and makes these little pockets. This is going to look fine under epoxy. It'll be good. And I'll put more glitter. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to do the whole thing, and then we will be done. Of course, it helps to plug it in. One sec. Okay. So I'm going to turn this. I'm going to do this, and then I will fast forward you while I put this on, and then I will go on to the next step. So alrighty, we are on to the next step. I did add some tape, some pinstriping on the bottom, some vinyl. I say tape, but it's vinyl. And I went directly under it so that you can see just a little bit of the silver, so that on this layer it's going to go down past all of my art and so that it has really good adhesion to it. Done the same thing on the top as well. There's a little bit of a lip for it to catch. And I hope I have enough. This is some leftover resin from this other tumbler I did just a minute ago. So I think it might be enough. I might be pushing it. Might have to put it on there really good. But I'll have one more layer that I need to do after this, and then it'll be done. So we're going to get this one done. It is kind of thick. I forgot about this resin. I went to go mix them and I was like, oh, I have that. So, but if you're not careful and you wait too long, it'll get too thick and it gets lumpy and it's horrible. So, I just got to be careful. Hopefully I have enough in here. I think I will. But usually I have double this amount just to be on the safe side. We're going to be good. We'll be good. We'll be good. I'm convincing the cup that I'm going to be good and have plenty. And I meant to add one more coat with sparkle in it, but I will do that on the next one. So I'm going to smooth this, just make sure that I get to the bottom. I also made sure the tape is, I didn't put tape on the actual bottom this time. That didn't make any sense, but I wasn't sure how the other one was going to run, and this will be much easier to get off. So you just want to make sure everything's coated from top to bottom, every single little inch, because you don't want any dry spots. You don't want anything coming, opening up like fish eyes and stuff like that. Sometimes that'll happen, or sometimes you just miss a spot. So you just want to go over it a few times. You can feel it under your finger. It catches on the other spots. So like I said, this is also not the last layer. Wait a minute. And that will be this one. Let me torch it really quick. Gonna get this off my hands. I will torch it a couple of times, like I always do. I've also learned, in my experience, I don't know what factors are involved. This stuff's really thick. It looks kind of dimply. So I'll have another layer to do. In the next layer, I'll have to sand it, but lightly sand it. What was I saying? Now I forgot what I was saying. Nope, it's gone. I don't remember right now. I'll think of it hopefully, and then maybe I'll try to remember for the next time. Okay, I think we're good. Oh, the alcohol, I remember. It was the alcohol. If I spray alcohol in this room, I don't know what it is, the molecules or the droplets or something in the air will cause the whole thing to dimple. And I don't know what it is, so I will not spray alcohol in the room. I've gone into my closet. I've gone into the back bedroom. I don't want alcohol to mess it up from just spraying it in the room like when I was cleaning something. I can see a couple of places that are going to try to fisheye on me. I'm going to try to catch it really quick and just smooth it out so that it doesn't dimple there. Anyway, it'll be fine after the next layer. So okay, I will see you guys on the next step. Okay, we are on to hopefully the last step. Everything's dry. I sanded it down. You don't have to sand it really hard, so you got to make sure it's completely dry, or else you'll gum up your resin. And then it's just a really, really light coating. You just want to give the resin something to grip to, so when you rough up the surface a little bit, then it's going to have something to grip to. So we are going to put hopefully this last coat. Every once in a while things happen, and then you end up having to do one or two more coats, which makes it heavier, so I try to avoid that as much as possible. So we'll see here. Hopefully everything's good. Try not to skip any steps is what I always tell myself. Like sometimes I don't want to sand, but that's what you have to do. There's all a bunch of little steps. I also, in between steps, I take a razor blade, or not a razor blade, but a X-Acto knife, and run it across the top to scrape off the extra resin so that it's a nice clean top. Sometimes most of the time I will take some acetone and rub it through the inside, rub it along the rim on top so that if there's any paint, it'll come off and it's a nice clean, and I know that there's no remnants of anything. And it's nice and smooth, all that stuff. So, and again, we're going to run it all the way to the bottom. So that everything's covered. I did go just a little bit past the silver, so it's actually, the resin will adhere to the stainless steel. I still like doing tumblers a lot. It's also a good place for your creative outlet. I'm hugely impressed and inspired by I think it's VMD Designs. I love her work. She's absolutely perfect. Everything she does is just so pretty. But she's got that designer brain. I don't have a designer brain. I can usually mimic something if I see it, but I don't always come up with the ideas. So sometimes I do, by just the inspiration of other stuff that I've seen. Okay, well, we didn't need that much resin, so I'm going to let this spin. Let me see. I'm going to first. Also, the other good thing about tumblers is you usually only have to use one glove, because I actually could probably get away with a finger cut if I needed to. It's so much less dirty, except for the glitter. The glitter will drive you insane sometimes. I am going to do a really quick torch. Then I will wait 15 more minutes. When this is dry, it's either I am done and you will see the finished product, or I'll have one more coat to do. But I'll let you know. I won't hide any steps. Okay. So I'll set my alarm. I also make sure that I take this off usually within about 30 minutes at the max. The tape, I like it to sit for a few minutes, just a little bit, so it doesn't, like, when you pull it, it doesn't like completely bleed immediately. If you wait a little bit, it kind of gives it some time to settle a little bit, and it's not as, I can't think of the word. It's probably not going to move as much. So just wait a little bit. Also got to make sure they're level. I have another one in the background that my cup is either not on my stick correctly, or it just depends on maybe with the turn thing that I have it on. But it's tilted a little bit, and it will kind of bead up and bubble at the end. So you get kind of like a fat bottom or a fat top, fat bottom or fat top. So you just have to be very conscious of trying to make sure that it's level as well. Like this machine, there's a couple of them that are a little bit weird. So sometimes I have to prop it up by putting a screwdriver or something just to lift it up to make it even. So just giving you that tip as well. All right, I will see you guys either, like I said, on the final product or one more step. See you in a little bit. Hey guys. Okay, so I'm back. One thing I kept forgetting to do was put that extra layer of sparkle on there. I did. This is sanded right now, so it looks duller. It does have some sparkle from the very first layer, but I kept meaning to add some. I did take it and show it to the customer, and she likes sparkle as much as me, so we're going to add some one more layer of sparkle. I'm going to add the Unicone Art Crushed Crystal. you have to go careful on this because it can way overpower your piece. And then again, I'm going to add some of this alcohol ink from Marabou, the rainbow. It's magic in a bottle. So we're going to add that. I've already mixed up 15 mLs of resin. Yes, it has lots of bubbles, and yes, it is thin enough that when you heat it up, the bubbles pop. So I'm not too worried about that. So I do want this to have more, so I'm going to put more than I did on the last layer, but I still have to be careful. Like I said, it will take over. We don't have any pictures in this. I'm actually tapping everything off, and I'm using what is only stuck to the stick. So there's actually, that's all I'm adding in there. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to put that right there. And so I can also add it while I'm still stirring before. I know that's in there. You're not going to be able to see it with all my bubbles right now. And then this Malibu, which will get stuck. So that should be plenty. I just put about 5 drops. So I'm going to stir this up. You should see it immediately when we start applying it. If I see that I need to add more after that, oh no, this is going to be plenty. I'm pretty sure this is going to be plenty. The more you stir it, the more that crushed crystal breaks up. So just stir it really good. There's so many bubbles, you can't tell. I can see the shimmer on my side, but I don't think you're going to be able to see that on camera. Okay. And then once this is cure, we'll be finished. Alrighty. Again, also use the Alumilite clear cast resin, which is my go-to for tumblers. Alrighty. Move this stuff out of the way. Like I said, we should be able to see if it's enough sparkle on the very first turn. I'm going to let this go around. I'm going to check it really quick. You know, I'm going to put a little bit more. It's definitely adding sparkle, but I just want to make sure that I have enough. We want extra bling bling. I could add just a few sprinkles of glitter in here as well, just to give it those chunks. I'm gonna go get some of that too. So I just barely put any more in there. Like I said, a little goes a long way. And I'm going to pause you real quick. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some glitter that I can kind of sprinkle a little here and there. One sec. Alrighty, so I went and grabbed 2 glitters really quick. I grabbed, it's pretty personal. This one's Sassy But Classy, and it's medium cut. And this one is from the Cherished collection. It's Frostbite XL. This one's just a silver and white, which I think just adding just a little bit here and there will be good. And this one has kind of like a blue undertone, a little bit of a blue undertone. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of this. We're gonna give it some sprinkle, give some sparkly sass to it. So I'm going to mix in this crushed crystal so that we have just a little bit more. And I'm going to have to be really careful with. I might add it to the, because I'm not going to end up using all this. There's going to be too much. So I might add that glitter to this actual resin so that I don't have to add another layer after. If I sprinkle it on, you're going to feel the glitter. So if I do it that way, then it's going to be more embedded in the epoxy. So, you know, I need to go up here because I added more. I don't want the top to be not consistent. I'm going to try to save just a little bit of it to add some glitter to. I just thought about that because when you add more and more layers, it gets thicker and heavier. So you just want to be careful with how many layers you put. See, that gave it some more glitter too. So we're just going to go all the way around. I'll speed you up through this. Alrighty, we got that layer on. You can tell it's more sparkly. And so I have just a little bit left. I have maybe 5 mLs maybe left. was hoping to mix. I'm going to put a little bit more of the medium cut, the sassy but sassy but classy. Ooh. Oh, that was way too much. Uh-oh. Darn it. Okay, that was way too much. Now I'm mad at myself. It just kind of dumped in there. I was trying to sprinkle it. Aw. Well, let's see. Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on. I have ideas. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid that next coat, so it's not too many coats. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of this because I need to break it up where it's not just silver. Okay, I did not put much. I might need to add more of that. And I'll show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it with my finger and dab it on. I need just a little bit more of this one. Don't go overboard, Nicole. I'm still mad I put so much on that first layer. Okay. It's really thick. I'm mad at myself. I have a feeling I'm going to have to add one more layer. Alrighty. I'm just going to put my finger in and kind of smear it here and there every once in a while just to kind of give it some bling bling here and there, but not everywhere. You don't want to go over your letters. That's where the glitter can get too much if it's over some important stuff. And I want it to be kind of sporadic. I don't want it to be consistently everywhere. I'm getting it on there, and then I will kind of fine tune it as I go. All right, is that, just got to break it up maybe? Let's see. I don't want clumps. I need my finger cots are tighter to my fingers than this glove. And because of all the, I can see that kind of the milkiness of it is probably more the bubbles. And so once I pop those, that's going to kind of clear out. So just trying to accent it with some sparkle. Does not need to be perfect. We're playing, right? Get the clumps out. I think we're good. Let me let that rotate for a few minutes. I still have some. I need to stick in something. That color right there with the just all the glitter in it is good for crosses. Crosses look awesome with that. I'm going to pop the bubbles really quick. Okay, 2 more times I'll pop bubbles. And hopefully you can see this good. But I will get, I see a clump right there. I will get videos of it outside when it's done. If I have to do one more coat, I will come back and I will videotape it so you know all my steps. If not, you'll see me outside. Alrighty, see you later. Okay, I said I wouldn't skip any steps that I was doing and not show y'all. So I'm doing it one more time. So this should be the last coat. Anytime you add a chunky glitter to some epoxy, you're usually going to have another coat that has to go on it, at least one more coat that goes on top of it. I would have been fine with the crushed crystal and the Marabou alcohol ink. It wasn't until I added the glitter that raised it up, and I want a smooth finish. So I'm going to add this, I'm going to speed you up, and then you'll see the final reveal in just a little bit. that should be it. All right, I will show y'all final reveal. I'm going to torch it, and that will be it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.